Gary Vaynerchuk says this all the time, and it's a number one marketing strategy. But I think when people hear it, they don't understand the principle that's behind this. So you've heard Gary say a lot of times, give, and then ask. Now, here's the problem with that, is that most people, when they hear that, they treat it as a transaction. They treat it as like a formula of like, okay, I'll give something away 3 times, and then I expect them to give me something back. But that's not what Gary is saying, and that's not the principle behind it. So instead of treating this as a marketing tactic, you need to actually treat it as something that is completely transformational in you. So what do I mean? Well, Gary's strategy, this principle works because what most people get wrong about it is that, again, they look at it as a transaction instead of a transformation. When you are able to flip the script in your mind and make the focus your customer instead of you, things are going to change. Now, you can apply this small business strategy to any business that Gary talks about, even if you don't have Gary's resources or Gary's team. I certainly don't have that. But here's why his give first strategy actually works. Because when you approach your customers, majority of the time, people approach customers and sales is like, okay, what can they do for me? What can I get out of them? And Gary is saying, no, approach it of like, what can you do for them? What can you give them? What is a value that you can give for them? When you make this shift from getting from them to the giving to them, this whole mind shift is really the mind shift of being a guide. This is where you come alongside your customer or your audience and you're looking out for them first. This is something that might be counterintuitive to a lot of people because they always put themselves first, looking out for number one. But when you make this shift, you're actually shifting in a different direction that actually makes a meaningful connection with that person. Look, we all know that we don't have everything figured out and we need help along the way. And we're always looking for solutions to help us get to that next level or to get us unstuck in a lot of ways. When somebody is genuine and they come alongside of you and they say, hey, I can help you with that, we can pick up on that vibe. We can sense that. We can sense that they actually are concerned with us. And that's the part of being a guide. Shifting from this mindset of what can I get to what can I give. And this is exactly what Gary is talking about, because this whole principle that he shares, there's something actually deeper than just that mindset. This actually is built upon a biblical principle. What do you mean? Well, this is where you are tapping into how God has created you, how God has crafted you. He's given you certain skill sets. He's given Gary certain skill sets, but Gary's skill sets are not your skill sets. And that's okay, because this principle works regardless of the skill sets, because it's putting the person first. We need to serve one another. Now, again, you are crafted, you are created with different skill sets and talents, and it's not just for your benefit. It's actually for the benefit of others. So when you recognize those gifts that God has given you, that it's meant to serve others, then this giving first isn't a strategy. It's actually more of a calling, and it's a way for you to express those things that are inside of you and serve other people and honor God along the way. Well, how can a business apply these principles that Gary has talked about without having all the resources that Gary has? You don't need Gary's resources. You actually have everything that you need when your heart is in the right posture, because you have an advantage. Gary is probably not talking directly to your customers or to your audience in a lot of ways, but you do. You have the advantage of connecting with them in the way that you connect with them. So you can't have conversation that Gary has, and Gary can't have conversations that you have, but you can provide the personalized help that Gary can't even touch. So this whole give first as a small business, you stop thinking about what you can get and you start thinking about how you can give. You don't need to be the world's best expert on things. You just need to put yourself in a position where maybe you just are 1 or 2 steps ahead of where your customer or your audience is and encourage them to take that next step. But be genuinely interested in their success. And that's what I want for you. I've been there. I've had a lot of self-doubt in my journey. But whenever I took the focus off of me and put it on my customers, put it on my audience, and approach things of like, I want this so much to work for you. If you have that kind of mindset, you are instantly creating trust with your customer. And they can feel that. They can sense that. They know when somebody is being salesy to them, trying to convince them to do something that they don't want, versus somebody that comes alongside of them and actually genuinely cares and is actually looking out for their own best interest. So here's what I want you to do. This is a 24-hour test. Now, every business interaction that you do in the next 24 hours, whether that's an email or phone call, a social post, any of those things, I want you to just focus on just this one kind of phrase or this one question really of what can I give? What can I do? What kind of value can I give my customers, my audience, and see what the reaction is. And I think you will be shocked at how people react to you. I guarantee this will be a game changer because people will respond differently to you when you put them first. But Gary has millions of followers. How can I compete with that? Okay, you're not trying to compete with Gary V directly. Remember, you are here to serve your specific audience, your specific customers, better than anyone else can. Gary can't be all things to all people, but you have your set of skills and services and products, whatever, that can serve your audience. So while Gary can't provide customized solutions for your audience, you can. So don't worry about Gary. It's in your ability to go and connect with your audience and to serve the people that you are already serving. What if I give away too much and people still don't buy? Here's the reality. People that are just looking for free stuff, they're not going to buy from you regardless. But don't let that be something that stops you from serving. Because the people that value what you give away, and they see that value in the stuff that you freely give, they're absolutely going to invest in you because, again, you're planting that seed of trust, and they can trust you that you know what you're talking about, that you have a solution, and that you're not trying to look out for you, you're actually looking out for them. Once that trust is started, then sales will happen because every sale is built upon trust. If you're ready to stop chasing clients and actually ready to start serving them, if you're ready to build a business that's rooted in biblical principles and actually look for sustainable growth and to build upon that, then let me invite you to join me on this journey. Go ahead and subscribe because every episode we're going to be talking about this mind shift of being a guide and letting your customer be the hero. And this will entirely change your approach on how you connect with your audience. Hey, I'd love to hear from you and what you are doing. And you can let me know in the comments, what is that give first attitude, that give first strategy that you have put into place, and how is that working for you? Let me know down in the comments. And remember, Gary is right in his strategy to give, and then ask. But remember, don't treat it as a transaction, but treat it as a mindset, understanding that the heart is the issue behind it. And then when you get that right, then everything else will change.